There's a reason some people walk into a room and everything just seems to open up for them. Opportunities, conversations, clarity, while others, no matter how hard they try, feel like they're moving through invisible mud. It's not always about mindset. It's not about effort. Sometimes it's the energy your space is silently rehearsing back to you every single day. Because here's the truth, your home is not just a shelter, it's a signal. Every object, every placement, every unnoticed corner is speaking something into your life, even if you're not listening. And the problem is, most people don't realize that the smallest things, like a forgotten jar of salt, could be sending the wrong message on their behalf. If you've been feeling stuck financially, emotionally, or creatively, this isn't random. It might not be your fault, but it is your pattern. And patterns are formed not just by habits, but by the environments we unconsciously maintain. Today, we're going to talk about salt, not as a cooking ingredient, but as a conduit, as a quiet witness to the energy that's been lingering too long in your space. Done wrong, it can lock you into cycles of tension, stagnation, even loss. But used correctly, intentionally, it can unlock wealth, clarity, and ease in ways that feel almost effortless. So before you spend another day wondering why things feel off, let's look at one of the simplest but most powerful adjustments you can make in your home. And by the end of this video, you won't just see salt differently, you'll start seeing your space and yourself with new eyes. Part 1, why salt matters more than you think. Salt isn't spiritual, it's strategic. And for most people, that one shift in perspective changes everything. Because if you've ever walked into a room and immediately felt uneasy without anyone saying a word, without anything visibly wrong, then you have already felt what stagnant energy does. And it's not just in haunted houses or ancient temples. It's in modern apartments, stylish homes, even inside spaces that look clean on the outside but feel heavy when you sit still for 5 minutes. The real question is, what's causing that weight? And even deeper, why does salt make it disappear? This isn't about mystical powers. This is about recognizing how something as simple as a grain of salt can serve as the most grounded-on energy tool you didn't even realize your home was missing. You see, salt doesn't just season your food, it reads your space, and it doesn't ask permission. It quietly absorbs what you didn't say, what was left unhealed, what continues to echo even when the house is silent. Think of salt like a sponge, but for emotional residue, arguments that never resolved, sleepless nights, that sense of lack that seems to cling no matter how much progress you make. Salt, whether you believe in energy work or not, operates like a filter, pulling in the invisible noise that clutters your focus and your flow. And unlike more obvious objects in your environment, it does this quietly without seeking attention or validation. What makes this more than tradition is how salt interacts with space on a physical and energetic level. Scientifically, salt is hygroscopic. It attracts water molecules, and with them, airborne particles that hold charge. In other words, it collects what's floating unseen. But in the subtle world of energy, this property mirrors something deeper. It grounds the air. It calms the environment. And that sense of peace you feel in a freshly salted space, that's not luck. That's physics meeting presence. The reason ancient cultures across continents, Japan, India, Europe, even the Americas, use salt in doorways, thresholds, or corners wasn't random. It's because salt does what most humans forget to do. It listens, it absorbs, and it neutralizes before anything worse can build up. But let's slow down for a moment, because here's where most people get it wrong. They hear about salt's benefits and they think, I'll just place some in a bowl and let it sit. But energy doesn't respond to action, it responds to intention. And without understanding what salt is actually doing in your space, you might be repeating the ritual without shifting the result. Salt doesn't give you luck. It simply removes what was blocking it. That's the part that no one talks about. We think we're adding good energy when in truth we're often just finally clearing the sludge that's been holding our best energy hostage. And when you realize that, the ritual becomes less about superstition and more about strategy. Here's something even more important. Salt records more than energy. It reflects habit, where you place it, how often you change it, whether you even remember it's there. All of that mirrors your relationship to presence and clarity. A neglected salt bowl in a dusty corner? That's not just symbolic. That's a message to your environment. I've stopped paying attention. And what we stop noticing, we stop managing. And what we stop managing eventually manages us. That's how stuckness builds. Not in one day, but in subtle accumulations of disregard. This is why salt isn't about magic, it's about maintenance. And the longer you see it as decoration instead of declaration, the longer you'll stay confused about why your progress feels delayed. And now the reverse question must be asked. Not whether salt can help you, but whether you've created a space that lets it do its job. Have you placed it thoughtfully, with clarity, or have you simply followed steps you barely understood, hoping for results that don't come? Because here's the hard truth. Most homes look fine, but feel confused. And it's not the decor. It's the unspoken messages layered into the atmosphere. The door you keep walking past that never truly welcomes you. The corners that hold more weight than they should. The silent pressure you feel even in your own bedroom. And salt, placed with quiet precision, can begin to unravel those tensions. But only if you respect it not as a cure, but as a companion in recalibrating your field. So let's return to the idea that salt isn't spiritual, it's strategic. Because strategy means choosing placement with awareness. It means replacing what's full. It means listening to what no one taught us to hear, the pauses, the pressure points, the subtle misalignments in our daily routines. In construction, we talk about structural integrity, the idea that a house must hold balance in its beams, in its foundation, in the way it carries weight. Salt is your energetic beam checker. It doesn't rebuild the house, but it will show you where something's off before it cracks. That alone makes it essential, not optional. And if that feels heavy, it's because it's supposed to. Most of us were never taught that a pinch of salt could mean the difference between a clear mind and a stuck one, between a fight that escalates and one that dissolves, between surviving a day and feeling spacious inside of it. So the next time you see salt, don't think of it as flavor. Think of it as frequency, a way to tune your space to something calmer, cleaner, and more in rhythm with who you're trying to become. Because maybe it's not about attracting more. Maybe it's about removing less noise, less doubt, less energetic clutter. And when that disappears, what's left behind often feels like luck. But it's really just clarity finally having room to stay. Part 2, the salt jar ritual. Done right, most people skip the setup and then wonder why nothing changes. They pour the salt, add water, maybe cover it loosely, and walk away, expecting the universe to respond to a gesture that had no clarity, no care, and no genuine alignment. But energy doesn't listen to steps. It listens to structure, to attention, to emotional coherence. And this is where so many misunderstand the salt jar ritual. They follow instructions but forget to embody intention. They mimic movements but forget to anchor meaning. And so, even with all the right ingredients, the shift doesn't arrive. Because it's not the materials alone that activate transformation. It's the message those materials send together when placed with full awareness. That's why we start here, with the setup. Not because it's complicated, but because it's foundational. When a structure is missing clarity, Even the best intentions can collapse. The salt jar ritual is often mistaken for a decorative placement or a lucky charm, but at its core, this is a symbolic map of alignment, a way to tell your home, and more importantly, your subconscious, that you are ready for clarity, stability, and expansion. Not someday. Now. Not by force, but through presence. And presence begins with the 5 simple elements that, when understood correctly, form one of the most powerful energetic combinations available to a home. Start with the clear glass. Not a mug, not a ceramic bowl, not something tinted or patterned. Clear, transparent. Why? Because the glass is not just holding the other elements. It's holding the reflection of your intention. And if you cannot see through it, your space cannot reflect through it. Symbolically, the clear glass becomes a mirror of sincerity. It forces you to ask before you even begin, is this placement coming from a place of hope or fear? From clarity or confusion? Because the glass doesn't lie. It either reveals or it conceals. And in Feng Shui, anything that conceals without purpose creates interruption. So this first choice is not aesthetic, it's architectural, energetically speaking. Your intention must be held clearly before it can be amplified. Then comes the water. And not just any water, fresh, clean, room temperature water that's been poured with awareness, not rushed from a faucet mid-thought. Water in Feng Shui symbolizes movement, life force, and emotional current. It doesn't just fill a space, it flows through it, absorbing, adapting, and reflecting the quality of attention it's been given. Which is why so many homes feel stagnant even when they look tidy, because the flow is blocked, not physically, but emotionally. When you pour water into the glass, you are pouring clarity into a vessel of readiness. But if you do it carelessly, distracted or rushed, what you're adding is noise. The ritual becomes noise. The water becomes weight. So instead you pause, you pour as if you're letting go of what no longer serves and inviting in a gentle shift. Not a miracle, a movement. Next comes the salt, white, unrefined, and pure, not dyed, not artificially enhanced, not mixed with herbs or oils. Because salt is the absorber of energy, and if it arrives impure, it absorbs confusion instead of clarity. The moment salt touches water, it begins a silent conversion. The grains dissolve not just physically, but symbolically, taking with them your fatigue, your tension, the emotional static that's been echoing through your routines without your permission. But again, this only works if the salt is added intentionally, not dumped, not stirred. Let it dissolve at its own pace because that's how healing works, not forced, felt, allowed. If you rush the process, you interrupt the release. If you trust the process, you begin the clearing. Now the red cloth. And this is where the ritual shifts from cleansing into containment. Red in Feng Shui represents fire, action, vitality, and protection. But more than that, it acts as a seal, a symbolic boundary between what is now contained and what must be kept out. Covering the glass is not about hiding it, it's about guarding it. You are creating an energetic boundary, telling your environment, this is sacred, this is mine, this is the new signal I'm anchoring. And the cloth doesn't need to be ornate, but it does need to be respected. Folded, placed, not crumpled or repurposed from something that once held another meaning. Because energy holds memory, and what you use, how you use it, always speaks louder than the item itself. The cloth is not a costume, it's a declaration. Finally, the string, gold or red, not rubber bands, not tape, not whatever is closest. Because the string is the final act of anchoring. It's the commitment. The moment you tie the cloth around the gown, you are sealing your choice, not your hope, not your maybe, your choice. This step is what turns 5 objects into one field of meaning. And the knot matters. It shouldn't strangle the knot, nor be so loose it falls apart in 2 days. It should feel firm. stable, like you mean it, because the universe doesn't need you to be perfect, but it does require clarity. And the string becomes the embodiment of that clarity, held, fastened, intentional. Now let's step back, because if all you've done is follow steps, you've missed the ritual. The ritual is not in the doing, it's in the awareness behind the doing. So ask yourself, have you been rushing your symbolic actions the same way you rush through your daily ones? Have you been filling jars without ever emptying your assumptions? Have you been chasing better energy while still placing your tools in the same chaotic way you manage your inbox, your kitchen, your calendar? Because the way you prepare your space is a direct reflection of the way you prepare yourself. And salt doesn't fix that, it reveals that. Which brings us to the question behind the question. Not just am I doing the ritual correctly, but am I using it as a substitute for self-awareness? Because no object, no matter how potent, it can replace what hasn't been integrated. That's the difference between rituals that work and rituals that fade. They either align with your growth or distract you from it. And when you truly understand the salt jar, you stop asking what it can do for you. You start noticing what it's showing you about yourself. For example, if the glass starts clouding after a few days, it may not be because your home is negative. It may be because your thoughts have been heavy. If the water evaporates unusually fast, it may not be about humidity. It may be about how fast your energy has been draining from tasks that aren't aligned. These signs aren't signs from outside. They're reflections from inside. And when you pay attention to them, your space becomes less of a storage unit and more of a compass. One that recalibrates you, not with words, but with cues you didn't know you needed. So let's revisit each element, not as ingredients, but as mirrors. The clear glass, are you seeing your intention clearly? Or hiding it behind urgency? The water, are you pouring from fullness or from obligation? The salt, are you letting it absorb what you're not willing to release? Or are you still holding on to what it's trying to take? The cloth, are you protecting what matters or just covering what you'd rather not face? And the string, are you tying your ritual to clarity or just hoping it stays together long enough to impress someone else? Because if any part of this feels hollow, it's not because the ritual failed. It's because your presence wasn't complete. And energy, unlike people, can't be tricked. It listens for what you truly mean. It responds to what you consistently feel, and it amplifies not your words, but your willingness. Willingness to see, to shift, and to simplify. In many ways, this salt jar is your blueprint, not for perfection, but for intention under pressure, alignment in simplicity. And when it's placed with awareness, it becomes more than a jar. It becomes a reset point, a neutral field, a quiet magnet for clarity in a world that constantly pulls you in 1,000 directions. And if that sounds exaggerated, ask yourself this. When was the last time you created something small in your space that reminded you daily of who you're becoming? Not who you've been, because the salt jar doesn't shout, it doesn't glow, it doesn't perform. It simply exists, anchored, purposeful, balanced. And in doing so, it becomes the energetic opposite of most people's lives. Not reactive, reflective, not rushed, ready, not loud, aligned. And that's where its true power lies, not in the object, but in what it interrupts. The momentum of chaos, the reflex of neglect, the routine of forgetting what actually matters. And when even one space in your home holds that level of intentional quiet, something in you starts to settle, starts to listen, starts to open. This is the core of transformation, not an upgrade, a return to what was always waiting. And that's what most people miss, not the step, but the silence beneath the step. The part that turns movement into meaning, the part that shifts a jar of salt into a doorway. Not to something mystical, but to something honest. A version of you that finally knows where you stand and why you place this here now with full presence. Part 3, floor cleansing. The mist maintenance. Cleansing isn't a ceremony, it's consistency. And yet, this is where most people quietly break the energy alignment they worked so hard to begin. After setting up the salt jar, placing it with care, even whispering affirmations in solitude, they stop. They treat the ritual as a single event, something to be completed and walked away from, as if energy doesn't accumulate again the next day, as if the home isn't constantly recording, collecting, and responding to every emotion, conversation, and thought that fills it. But the truth is far less dramatic and far more practical. Your home is not a still life painting. It's a living system. And like any living system, it needs energetic maintenance, not once, but rhythmically. Most people clean their home by visual standards. They look for dust, for spills, for stains. But what they rarely ask is, what kind of emotional residue am I leaving behind? What energy is sticking to the floor that no mop ever touches? Because that's the level where stagnation begins. Not on the surface, but just below it, in the unseen layers that hold footprints of frustration, leftover tension from arguments, the pressure of rushed mornings, the emotional weight of nights where sleep never fully landed. And when those layers go unaddressed, not for days, but for weeks or months, they start building a different kind of mess. Not visible, but heavy. And that heaviness isn't random. It shows up in your mood, your clarity, your creativity. It slows down your momentum without announcing itself. And what's worse is most people adapt to that weight without even realizing they're carrying it. They normalize the drag. They call it just being tired. But it's not fatigue. It's energetic buildup. This is where floor cleansing with salt water changes the equation. Not because salt is magical, but because it's consistent. When you add a pinch of natural salt to the water you use to clean your floors, you're not just removing surface dirt, you're addressing the energetic echo, the vibration of what lingers after life happens inside your home. And let's be clear, life isn't always clean. There are stressful days, heavy conversations, emotional withdrawals that don't leave physical messes, but leave residue nonetheless. And when that residue settles on the floor, you may not see it, but you feel it. That odd sensation of unease in your own kitchen, the inexplicable tension when sitting on a clean couch, the subtle pressure that builds in your chest after spending too much time in a particular room. All of that is feedback, not about dirt, about energy, and the floor is where it rests first. But here's the piece that even people who've studied Feng Shui often miss. Not every day is the right day to cleanse with salt. Specifically, not Thursday. Because in energetic theory, Thursday is a day of heightened fluctuation. It's not stable, it's not neutral. The vibrational charge of the week builds here, which means when you cleanse with salt water on a Thursday, instead of anchoring clarity, you risk stirring up more instability. Think of it like trying to reset a wave while it's cresting. You're not neutralizing energy, you're mixing it. And in a system that relies on rhythm and awareness, timing becomes everything. So floor cleansing with salt should happen on the other days, especially after emotionally intense moments. But Thursday is a pause, not out of fear, out of wisdom, out of respect for the way energy moves without our permission. Now here's where this ritual takes on deeper meaning. Beyond the mop, beyond the salt. This isn't about the act of cleaning. It's about the mindset you bring to the act. And that's what most people never even consider. They mop their floors the way they rush through tasks, with irritation, with distraction, with the goal of getting it over with. But if energy responds to awareness, then what are you encoding into your space with that energy? You may be cleaning physically, but you're amplifying tension energetically, because every movement carries emotion. And if you move quickly just to finish, you leave behind a pattern of urgency. If you move carelessly, you imprint chaos. If you move resentfully, you broadcast resistance. So this ritual asks something much more intimate. Can you move through your home with clarity, even when doing something ordinary? Can you clean without rushing? Can you bring presence to a task you've always treated as obligation? Because that is where the true energy shift begins, not in the salt, but in your state. When you add that pinch of salt and begin to move the mop or cloth across your floor, what you're really doing is tracing your history. You're revisiting where your energy has landed and choosing, stroke by stroke, to clear it, not just because it's dirty, but because it's done. That argument you had 2 days ago, it might still be sitting by the kitchen door. That disappointment from last week, it might have pooled around your desk. The hesitation that's been holding you back from making a decision, it might be quietly camping in the corner of your bedroom. And the salt-infused water doesn't just clear those spaces physically, it creates a pathway for your intention to move through them. And intention, when paired with movement, becomes release. One woman I worked with, a high-performing executive, deeply analytical, not the type to speak about energy at all, came to me after a divorce. Her home was clean, immaculate even, but something felt off. She couldn't relax in her own space. Sleep was fragmented, thoughts raced. Conversations with her children felt sharp, even though there was no conflict. She tried redecorating, rearranging. Nothing worked. Then I asked her to do one thing: mop her floors with salt water, intentionally every other evening. At first, she laughed, said she wasn't into that stuff. But 2 weeks later, she told me something had shifted. Not dramatically, subtly, but deeply. Her thoughts felt quieter. Her conversations softened. She didn't feel the need to fill space with noise. And most importantly, she said, "It's like the air inside my home finally started breathing again." That's the level of impact we're talking about. Not mystical, practical, physiological, emotional, energetic. And maybe that's what more people need to hear. Not that this ritual changes your life, but that it gives your life back the space to change. Because a home filled with energetic residue is like a mind filled with old thoughts. There's no room for the new. And the floor, as basic as it seems, is the stage for everything. Your steps, your transitions, your routines, your conversations, everything lands there first. So if you never address that layer, what are you walking on? What are your children playing on? What messages are being broadcast from a surface you no longer see but interact with every day? You're not just cleaning your floor, you're clearing your history. And that history includes the emotions you didn't process, the moments you pushed past, the days you wanted to feel better but didn't know how. Salt gives you that way, not with drama, but with devotion. Quiet, rhythmic, consistent devotion. And again, the question isn't, does this really work? But have you ever really tried it consistently, with presence? Because that's the difference between rituals that fade and rituals that transform. One is done for the sake of novelty. The other becomes a living rhythm, an extension of who you are when you're not performing for anyone else. And when your home starts to reflect that rhythm, it begins to nourish you instead of drain you. The floor becomes more than a surface, it becomes a support system. One that listens, responds, and stabilizes. One that says, without a word, you're home, you're safe, you're clear. So when you prepare your next floor cleaning, remember, this isn't about effort, it's about tone. Not the effort of scrubbing, but the tone of your presence. Are you frantic? Are you resigned? Are you grounded? Because that tone imprints more deeply than any product you use. Salt simply amplifies whatever tone is already there. It doesn't create peace. It makes visible whether you brought peace with you. And that's why this practice isn't extra, it's essential. Not because your floor is visibly dirty, but because your energy, after days of carrying life, needs a place to land and be rinsed. And when the floor becomes that place, something in you settles. Something in your family softens. Something in your space reopens. And that's what most people are really searching for. Not more tips, more hacks, more tools, but more space. Inside, around, between. And sometimes the only thing blocking that space is what we never bothered to sweep away. Not because it was bad, but because it was done, no longer needed, ready to be cleared. So floor cleansing with salt water becomes more than a tip. It becomes a turning point, a chance to release what no longer fits, a chance to re-enter your home not just as a body, but as a presence, a chance to let go of the days that dragged and step into a space that breathes. And maybe that's the practice we've forgotten, not to clean for appearance, but to cleanse for coherence, so that every step you take afterward feels just a little more supported, a little more alive, and a little more like coming home, not to a space, but to yourself. Part 4, salt bowls in corners, quiet protection. If your corners hold shadows, they might also be holding your setbacks. It's easy to overlook a dark corner. No one spends time there. No one decorates for it. We walk past it, dismiss it, store things in it. And yet, in almost every home I've stepped into, the energy in the corners tells a story the rest of the house is trying to ignore. Because corners don't just collect dust, they collect unresolved energy, the thoughts, memories, and tensions that never had a place to go. And over time, those corners become silent witnesses to emotional residue. The place you stared into during an argument, the hallway you rushed past after bad news, the stairwell where you sat overwhelmed but said nothing. These moments leave impressions, not because they're dramatic, but because they were never fully processed. And just like physical clutter, emotional weight needs somewhere to land. So it gathers, quietly, unseen. Until one day you walk into a perfectly clean house and still feel heavy. And that's when the role of salt bowls and corners becomes less about ritual and more about recovery. Not recovery from trauma in the dramatic sense, but from the everyday emotional friction that builds when we live without noticing where energy hides. Because it doesn't just vanish. Energy is sticky. It settles in places that don't move. And in every home, that means the corners, the back closet that hasn't been opened in months, the awkward corner behind the sofa, the space under the stairs, even the floor near the bathroom door where no one ever steps but everyone passes by. These aren't just dead zones, they are emotional magnets, pulling in the energetic debris that never found resolution. And if left unchecked, they become slow leaks in your home's ability to recharge you. You can light candles, you can clean windows, you can bring in flowers, but if the corners are neglected, the energy can never fully reset. The space still echoes with tension you thought had passed. Salt, placed openly in those forgotten corners, doesn't just absorb, it interrupts. It stops the pattern of energetic stagnation from completing another cycle. It offers the space a breath. And that breath is not symbolic, it's structural. Because salt has a unique property. It draws out what is dense, not just moisture in the air, but emotional saturation in the atmosphere. And when that saturation lives in the corners, it begins to shape the quality of your attention, your patience, even your sleep. Think about it. How often have you felt inexplicably drained after staying in a room that's clean but doesn't feel good? How often have you walked into your child's room or your home office and felt a strange pressure, not from what's visible, but from something you couldn't name. That's the effect of energetic buildup. It lingers in silence, and the corners are its favorite place to hide. What salt does in these spaces is deceptively simple. It sits, it absorbs, it neutralizes. Not because it's enchanted, but because it's responsive. Salt doesn't argue with the energy it encounters. It takes it in, balances the charge, and stores it. But here's where most people go wrong. They place the salt bowl and forget it. And just like an overused sponge, salt that's saturated begins to lose its absorptive power. Worse, if you leave it too long, it starts to re-release the very energy it once trapped, which is why weekly replacement isn't a suggestion. It's a reset. It's the part of the ritual that completes the circuit. And when done properly, with care, with awareness, you're not just maintaining balance, you're creating flow. Energy doesn't get stuck. It doesn't go stale. It circulates. And when energy circulates, the home begins to breathe differently. The rooms begin to feel softer. The pauses between thoughts get quieter, and your own nervous system begins to reflect that shift. Let's step into this from another angle. If you've ever wondered why your productivity feels fine in one room, but impossible in another, consider the corners, not the furniture, not the lighting, the corners. Because the nervous system, while subtle, is deeply responsive to spatial pressure. And cluttered, neglected corners press inward. They create subconscious compression. Your mind may not register it, but your body feels it. It tenses, it contracts, it limits how freely you breathe. And that compression translates into your day. Suddenly you're more irritable, more tired, less open. Not because you're broken, because your space is holding on to emotions you haven't even noticed. And when the energy in those corners is finally addressed, the difference is often immediate. It's not about perfection, it's about spaciousness. And salt is the simplest way to reclaim it. But again, let's be honest about something most people don't want to admit. Neglected corners aren't accidents. They reflect parts of us we have also stopped paying attention to. The dream we shelved, the grief we muted, the emotion we walked past for too long. So when you place a bowl of salt in one of those corners, you're not just doing it for the home. You're doing it for the version of you that needed somewhere to be held. And in that act, quiet, private, no performance, you begin to reclaim something else. A relationship with yourself that isn't about fixing or decorating. It's about noticing, and noticing is what heals. Let's talk about the practical rhythm of this practice. Once a week, pick a time when the house is still. Early morning, late evening, not rushed. You don't need to say anything, but you do need to feel what's in the air. Where is the weight heavier? Where does the silence feel loud? That's your signal. Fill a small bowl. Ceramic, glass, even wood is fine. Avoid metal if possible. Add a layer of sea salt, coarse or fine, both work. Place it directly on the floor. No trays, no decor. Let it sit as it is. Functional, grounded, leave it uncovered. The air needs access. The energy needs a surface. And then walk away. You've done enough. The salt will do the rest, but after 7 days, the salt must be removed. Not because it looks different, but because it's done its work. Discard it respectfully. Don't flush it, don't reuse it. Wrap it in paper and bury it if you can. If not, dissolve it in water and pour it down the drain with intention. Not because you need to banish anything, but because you're returning what was released back to where it belongs. Outside the home, back to the earth, neutralize, and then replace it. New salt, clean bowl, new intention. Week after week, this becomes less of a chore and more of a rhythm. And that rhythm begins to synchronize with your own. Your stress builds less. Your clarity returns faster. And your home becomes not just a shelter, but a sanctuary. This isn't theory. This is pattern observation over 2 decades. Homes that incorporate this practice feel different, not only to the people living in them, but to every guest that walks through the door. There's a lightness, a quiet coherence, a sense that the space has been tended to, not just maintained, but witnessed. And when space is witnessed, the people in it begin to feel seen as well. And that is the invisible gift of this ritual. It doesn't just protect the home, it helps the people in it stop hiding from themselves. So as you move through your week, notice where you stop noticing. Notice the corners you keep skipping, the spaces you avoid, the closets you never open, and ask yourself not just what energy might be lingering there, but what emotion might be stored there. Because these places aren't haunted. They're holding, and salt, in its quiet potency, is not just there to protect. It's there to release, to clear what's been kept too long, to soften what's been hardened, to give breath back to the parts of your home and your psyche that forgot what ease feels like. And maybe, just maybe, that's what healing looks like. Not big breakthroughs, not dramatic change, but one bowl of salt at a time, restoring breath to the places that forgot how to exhale. Part 5, Salt Bath Ritual, Resetting Your Own Field. You can't purify your space if your body still holds the storm. That's the part almost everyone overlooks. They cleanse the floors, place the salt jars, refresh the corners, and yet somehow the heaviness returns. Not all at once, but in quiet moments, in the silence before sleep, in the stillness between one task and the next. It returns in the form of mental fog, emotional reactivity, unexplained fatigue, or the familiar grip of worry that tightens when the lights go out. And when that happens, most people assume their environment is the issue. But the truth is more intimate. The storm isn't outside of you, it's in your field. And that field needs clearing just as much as your living room ever did. We live inside our bodies the way we live inside our homes, constantly moving, constantly doing, rarely pausing to recalibrate the energetic residue that's been left behind. And residue is the right word, because emotional experiences don't disappear when the moment passes. They settle, they store, not just in memory, but in muscle, in breath, in skin. The body is the most honest container we have. It doesn't forget what we refuse to feel. So if your space is clean but your mind is still looping, if your home feels fresh but you feel stuck, then it's time to look inward, not for answers, but for release. That's where the salt bath ritual becomes more than a wellness suggestion. It becomes an energetic necessity, not because it's ancient, not because it's trendy, but because it works. Because hope, when dissolved in water, becomes more than a mineral. It becomes a message, a reset signal to the nervous system, a call back to emotional neutrality, a release valve for what's been trapped under the surface too long. And you don't need to believe in anything mystical to feel it. You just need to be still long enough to notice the difference. Because when the body softens, everything shifts. The pace, the perception, the pain, the stuckness you thought was permanent begins to dissolve, just like the salt in that water. Here's what most people don't realize. Energy moves fastest through water, and the human body is made of it. So when you step into a bath infused with pure white salt, you're not just bathing, you're recalibrating your field. You're telling the static in your system that it's safe to dissipate. You're inviting the tightness in your chest, the heaviness in your legs, the clench in your jaw to do something it hasn't done in weeks. Let go. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. In fact, it shouldn't be. This isn't about catharsis. It's about quiet recalibration. You don't need to cry. You don't need to think deep thoughts. You just need to sit, to soak, to allow, because in that allowance, your body begins to catch up with your intentions. And without that alignment, even the most beautiful home will feel energetically unfinished. The ritual itself is simple. You run a warm bath, neither hot nor cold, but neutral. You add a generous handful of pure, unprocessed salt. No scents, no oils, just salt. Let it dissolve fully. Then step in, not like you're entering a spa, but like you're returning to something you forgot you needed. You don't have to speak. You don't have to chant. You don't even need music. You just need to be with yourself in water without distraction. Let your breath settle. Let your thoughts unravel. Let the silence say what words never could. And stay there, 15, 20, even 30 minutes if you can. Stay until the edges inside you feel less sharp, until the current of your mind slows, until your skin remembers what calm feels like. That's when you know it's working, not because the water changed, but because your internal rhythm did. But here's what makes this different from a regular bath. You don't do this once and expect everything to change. You do it consistently, not obsessively, consistently. You give your body a rhythm, a reason to trust you again, a sequence of moments that tell your nervous system, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm releasing. The traditional sequence is 21 consecutive days, excluding Thursdays. And that detail matters. Because Thursday, like we discussed earlier, is a high-charge day. The energy is in flux. Cleansing the body on that day can scatter what you're trying to ground. So honor the rhythm, rest on Thursday, return on Friday, and allow the process to be as intelligent as the body itself. Some people ask, why 21 days? It's not superstition, it's neuroplasticity. It's the time it takes to create a new pattern in the body's field, not just mentally, but cellularly. When you give your system the same signal every day for 3 weeks, it begins to shift its baseline. Stress lowers, clarity increases, sleep deepens, and the noise you once carried without noticing begins to lift, slowly, subtly, but undeniably. And as it lifts, space is created, not just physically, emotionally, mentally. That's when opportunities start appearing. That's when conversations go smoother. That's when clarity comes. Not because you forced it, but because you made room for it. Let's get even more real. If you have ever struggled with reactivity, mood swings, chronic fatigue, low-grade sadness you can't explain, this ritual is for you. Not as a fix, as a pattern interruption. Because your body holds more than you know. Every past frustration, every silent grudge, every time you swallowed your truth because it wasn't convenient to speak, it's in there. And you can't organize your closet and expect that to disappear. You have to meet it where it lives, inside. And salt in water creates the safest space for that meeting to take place. Without judgment, without pressure, just clarities, just calm. And here's a deeper truth no one likes to admit. Healing isn't about adding, it's about removing. Removing interference, removing the background noise, removing the layers that got built up while you were just trying to survive. And the salt bath does that with humility. It doesn't make a show. It doesn't demand belief. It just shows up, dissolves, absorbs, clears. And in doing so, it gives you back what you forgot was yours. A body that feels safe, a mind that feels quiet, and a heart that feels open. You don't need to turn this into something more than it is. You don't need to label it, share it, even understand it fully. You just need to remember that your home can only be as clear as the person who lives inside it. And if that person hasn't released the storm, no amount of rearranging furniture will create real peace. This ritual is the bridge, from the internal storm to external stillness, from mental clutter to emotional coherence, from doing the right things to finally feeling something shift. Start with once a week if daily feels like too much. Let your body guide you, not your schedule, not your expectations, but the internal signal that says, I'm ready to let this go. And when you feel that signal, even slightly, trust it. That's the body asking for a moment of restoration. And in a world that constantly asks you to perform, that moment is more than self-care. It's survival. And maybe the deeper point here isn't the ritual, it's the reminder that your body is not your enemy, that your tiredness is not weakness, that your emotional buildup isn't a flaw, it's feedback. And if you've made space for everyone and everything else, but never for your own recalibration, then your energy field has been carrying more than its share for far too long. The salt bath is where that load gets acknowledged, softened, released. Not all at once, but steadily, lovingly, rhythmically, like waves eroding a cliff, not to destroy it, but to reshape it. So if your home is finally starting to feel clearer, and yet something in you still feels dense, remember this. Clarity in the home must be matched with clarity in the body. Otherwise, you'll keep carrying the old energy into the new space over and over again. And that cycle doesn't break through effort. It breaks through awareness, through softness, through stillness. And sometimes all of that begins in a quiet tub of water with a handful of salt and the simple decision to finally stop carrying what you were never meant to hold forever. Final. It was never just salt, it was always you. Most people think they're stuck because they haven't worked hard enough, haven't meditated enough, haven't done the right ritual, but maybe the truth is simpler. They've just never been taught how to let go of what's no longer aligned. And salt, in all its forms, on your floor, in a bucket there, dissolved in water, isn't about superstition. It's about signaling readiness, a readiness to stop confusing movement with progress, a readiness to stop filling space just to avoid stillness, a readiness to finally say, I am done carrying what doesn't serve me. And the beauty of this entire process is that it never asked you to change everything. It only asked you to pay attention to what you've been living with silently, because salt has always been about reflection. And now that you've seen what your space and body have been holding, the question is no longer what do I do, but what am I willing to release? Look back at each piece we explored and ask yourself not what sounded interesting, but what felt familiar. Did the salt jar remind you of all the half-finished intentions you have placed in your life, clear at first but without consistency? Did the floor cleanse show you how often you clean what's visible while ignoring what's energetic? Did the corner bowls reveal the parts of your home that hold parts of yourself you stopped checking on? Did the salt bath remind you that no space can feel clear when the body that walks through it is still heavy? These aren't mistakes of ignorance. These are patterns of survival. We've all done them. That's why they feel so universal. That's why they hit so close. Because this isn't just about Feng Shui. It's about the way we've been living, busy, reactive, misaligned. And maybe that's why salt works so well. Not because it's mystical, but because it's simple enough to show us where we've overcomplicated things. A clear glass teaches us transparency. A pinch of salt reveals the layers we haven't addressed. A mop with purpose turns a chore into an invitation. A warm bath becomes a mirror to our inner static. These aren't add-ons. These are reminders, not of perfection, but of presence. And that presence is what changes everything. Not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly, quietly, with the kind of steadiness that actually lasts. Because energy doesn't shift through wishing, it shifts through alignment. So if something in you felt seen in any part of this journey, let that be your cue, not to do more, but to do differently. Not out of urgency, but out of clarity. Because every single person watching this shares the same invisible mistake. They keep moving forward without stopping to reset the field they're moving through. That field is their home, their breath, their nervous system, their corners, their clutter, their calm. And when those things go untended, they don't just stay the same. They shape the pace, tone, and temperature of our days. That's the part most people miss, not the salt, but the signals it was always giving us about what needed to be reclaimed. So no matter where you begin, whether it's one bowl in one corner or one bath in a quiet evening, it's never been about the salt. It's always been about you. The way you've decided to listen, the way you've chosen to see your space not as something to manage, but as something that mirrors you. And the way you've finally remembered that every ritual is just a way of saying, I'm ready, not for perfection, but for something softer, something steadier, something simpler. And maybe, just maybe, the most powerful transformations don't begin with big changes. They begin with a grain of salt.